Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another bullet journal video. This month is going to be September, and for September I am going to be doing the last of the Hogwarts houses, which is Slytherin. So now I will have done all 4 of the Hogwarts houses. Also, something cool about doing Slytherin for September is Slytherin and September have the same amount of letters, so it fills up the banner in the same sort of way. And yeah, so like I have done in the previous house months, I did the Slytherin crest as my cover page for the month, and as always I sketched it out beforehand so that it's easy and quick when I film it, just to go in and fill it all in. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm drawing out the details of the Slytherin crest after having done the border of it and the banner with September as the name instead of Slytherin, and then all of the various tiny little scales of the snake that is also shaped like an S. Something else that's cool about doing a Slytherin for September is they both start with an S, so it's just kind of nice and cool. So it matches quite well. So I'm just finishing up scaling the snake there, and then I went ahead and started filling it in. I did the title in black as I have been doing. Then I filled in the black bits around the border. So there is black behind the kind of weavy bits of the design, and so I filled that in before going in with actual color. And Slytherin colors are silver and green, and I don't have silver. The closest I've got is gray, so I used a lot of gray this month. There are a lot of things that I changed about this month. I got rid of some spreads, I introduced brand new spreads, so yeah, it's very different, but I'm excited about it. There are definitely some things that I did the same, but there are a lot of things that I have also changed up. So I'm putting purple around the border because the Slytherin crest has purple in the border, and of course green all over the place. They have dark green and light green and just various colors in the Slytherin crest. I was really happy with it up until I got to the banner. The banner has a yellow bit in it, and it's a really pale yellow, but I didn't really have that color, so I went with a darker yellow. And after it was said and done, I wish I would have chosen a different yellow to go, because it slightly ruined the effect for me. Overall, I still like how it looks, but it's the yellow that bothers me the most, I would say. However, what's done is done, and like I said, I am pleased with the overall look of it, so I can't be too upset. Okay, so where it starts to change up, I got rid of my sleep tracker altogether, so I moved my habit and mood tracker to the front. So that is what I'm doing very first on the other side of the cover page this month, where I normally would have done my sleep tracker. And yeah, so I moved those to the front right after the cover page. And for that, I was inspired by the Slytherin common room, which is described as a long stone room with elaborate carvings and round glowing green glowing lanterns that hung from the ceiling. So on the sides of the page I did some pillars with different snakes going up and down them, and then the background for the habit tracker and sort of the mood tracker is a stone wall, and it's just sort of a rough sketch of it. Inside each completed square I did my actual habit trackers, and for the mood tracker I did the same thing that I have been doing for the past few, like all of the house months, so I kept that consistent. Just the circle with the little spirally bits coming out of the side, and then yeah, I labeled in all of my habits that I want to keep track of, and then filled in the page with some color. I did gray because they're supposed to be like stone pillars with carved snakes on them, so I didn't do anything special, I just colored them in gray. Then I took my little watercolor pen and kind of embellished the page because it's supposed to be like a stone wall, but I didn't want to fill in the entire page because that would be a lot of gray on one page. So I just sort of accented my little stone blocks that I drew all around. And then I also went in and filled in the lanterns. So like I said, they're supposed to be green, glowing lanterns, so I obviously filled them in with green. I also used my watercolor to give them a little more of a like glowy type effect before moving on. So this is where I decided to put my cleaning tracker for the month because I didn't want to get rid of that. I like my cleaning tracker a lot. It helps me keep in check the things that I've gotten done and things that I still need to do. And for this page, I decided to do the Slytherin scarf and the old Slytherin scarf style. That's kind of color blocked instead of with the small silver stripes. So I drew the scarf all around the border of the page, and then I just filled it in with the blocks of green and silver, or in this case gray. But I really like the way it turned out. I think it looks really nice, and the gray and the green really complement each other nicely. So well done, Slytherin. I like your colors. So once the border, the scarf border was all done, I drew 3 different boxes on the inside. One is for my daily tasks, one is for weekly tasks, and the last one is for the monthly cleaning tasks. And then I just filled in the different tasks that I have to do, just in various little spaces inside each box, and that ended up being my cleaning chart for the month of September. And overall, I really like how the page turned out. This next tracker, I guess I can call it, is completely new. I'm not sure how it'll work out. I just sort of made it up for this month, and I'm gonna see how it works out for me. But it is going to keep track of all my bills, and I know I have a place in my expense tracker to do that, but this is more specific. And I'm hoping it will really help me hone in and keep track of my bills a little more specifically, and let me know what is left over from each paycheck that can go into non-fixed expenses. Yeah, so around the border of the page, I was inspired by the snake from the front cover off of the Slytherin crest, so I drew that all around the page as a sort of border for the tracker, and then I filled it in with all of the little bitty little scales, and let me tell you, this took forever. This took such a long time to do, all these tiny little scales, and I did the entire border. And then I actually drew in the tracker itself, so at the top I put a space for the bill name, the bill due date, the amount due, the date I paid it, and the amount I've paid, and then I split it up between paycheck 1, paycheck 2, and paycheck 3, depending on how many paychecks that we get for the month. This particular month, we get 3. So, each bill I can write under which paycheck I'm going to pay it out of. So if I pay my phone bill with the first paycheck, I'll write it under paycheck 1, and I can write the date that check comes in and the amount, and then also the bill and the amount and what date it was paid and due, and etc. And then hopefully that will give me a better idea of how much is left over after all the bills have been paid in each check that we can pay other things with. So, following that is my handy dandy little expense tracker that I have loved and used constantly. This has not changed, and I still, even with my new bill tracker, have a section for bills. So I know it may seem redundant, but it's not. The other one just helps me hone in a little more. Yeah, so this will give me a better idea of what's left over, and then I can write it on my expense tracker page. And yes, I'm hoping it'll really help me hone in my finances a lot better. On the next page is my video tracker and brain dump page, and because I have done the same video tracker brain dump spread for the other house months, I decided to keep it the same for this month as well. So at the top, I did a little banner with some black diamonds in it, and then I filled that in with green a bit later, and then I boxed off each little section for my videos, my extras, my YouTube tracker, all that stuff, my brain dump in a green box, and any other embellishments I did with the silver color. And then I did the kind of parchment-y border outline like I have done in the previous months as well. And that was my video tracker and brain dump. On the next page is my first week. Now, I had kind of a tough time deciding what I wanted to do for the first week. And ultimately I decided on a wheel sort of layout. I haven't done one in what feels like a while. And I like the way that they look anyway, but I didn't know what I could put or what I wanted to put that was very Slytherin. And my husband actually helped me decide on something from the Chamber of Secrets, and I decided that the door to the chamber would be just the perfect thing. Slytherin is responsible for the Chamber of Secrets, so I felt it was very appropriate to put the something with the Chamber of Secrets in the month that is dedicated to Slytherin. And I decided to do the Chamber of Secrets door because it fit well with my circular layout. And this took forever to do as well because all the little studs in the door took a long time to dot and fill in. So there was a lot of little dotting work that went into this and a lot of tiny little dotting details. But after it was all completely done, I really loved the way that it looked. Oh, and of course all of the tiny little snake scales. Now this door is all one color of brown. However, I didn't want to just shade it in all one color of brown, so I switched it up between 3 different brown colors. And I wasn't sure how that was going to work out or if I was going to like the end result, but I actually do think that it turned out quite nicely once it was all filled in and done. And because there's only technically one day, I combined Sunday with the first week, so there are 8 days in this week instead of 7. If any of you know the Beatles, you can now sing 8 days a week. Here I started with the lightest brown and filled in the sort of background bits of the door. All with the lightest brown because I figured that would be the best background. I didn't want to do the darkest brown for the backdrop of it because I felt that would make the page way too dark. So that is what I did. And then with the darkest brown, I kind of filled in the empty space just so you could define shape from shape, and it wasn't all just the light brown color, because like I said, I wanted to kind of split it up and make it kind of different. And then the middle brown I used to fill in the snakes. After I filled in the snakes, I highlighted the names of the days of the week in the Slytherin colors. Now it's time for the final flip through. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Comment your thoughts on it down below. I would love to hear them. And that's all that I got for you guys. Like I said, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!